You're listening to the Telltale channel. If you like what I do and you want to see me continue to do it, don't forget to check out my Patreon. You can find some ad-free, uncensored, complete versions of my videos on my website, owenmorgan.com. All links are in the description. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. We should be live now. Tell you what, I'll just get into it and tell you what we're going to be talking about today. I've been trolling Steven Crowder's Rumble page because he claimed to have given up on YouTube completely, said he was walking away from it, but then his numbers cratered, and I think he backtracked on that. I think he's watching he's on YouTube again. Anyway, whatever. I'm on his page here, and he had his buddy Gerald talk to him about this Tucker Carlson clip that they're claiming went viral. I mean, I didn't see it on anywhere on like in normal spaces. It must just be going viral within far-right extremist spaces. Anyway, this Tucker Carlson clip made a pretty spectacular claim. Basically, the claim is that Joe Biden is going to start a war with Russia in the next 12 months to stay in power in the United States. Basically framed it like it was a method of seizing power like a dictator. Absolute delusion, right-wing extremism out the wazoo here, but I wanted to listen to them, see what they had to say about it, because I got to tell you, I'm a fan of conspiracy theories. I love hearing conspiracy theories, so let's give it a listen, see what these people have to say for themselves. Did I hear about the thing with PragerU in Oklahoma? Is that where Oklahoma is allowing PragerU videos to be aired in their classrooms now? I think is that the thing you're referring to? I think I heard something about it. Don't quote me on that, but anyway. Yeah, that may not be accurate, so take it with a grain of salt. Anyway. All right, let's listen to Steven Crowder act like a complete fool, as usual, and Tucker Carlson come up with ridiculous conspiracy theories, and Steven Crowder believe them uncritically. And while we do, we are going to play some Breath of the Wild. I'm just kind of going around grinding, so yeah. It is Breath of the Wild, too, by the by. It'll just be in the background if you haven't played it or don't know it, then it shouldn't bother you too much. All right, let's give this a listen. Let me see here.
All right, so Tucker was talking with Adam Carolla, and he predicted that, and this may sound a little bit far out, but if you follow through on this
oh boy, you know when you're listening to a far-right nutcase say this may be a little far out, it's going to be a doozy.
logic, it actually makes a little bit of sense.
No, it doesn't. It makes literally zero sense.
In the realm of possibility. This is kind of like an Alex Jones moment.
We predicted this when the war with Ukraine started.
No. We didn't predict that he would start a war to stay in power. So.
Oh, no, not Biden. No.
So
we predicted that obviously it would unfortunately kind of force Russia into the arms of the tiny arms of China.
Well, it's going to force them into the arms.
The tiny arms of China. Okay, I don't know what that is. That like a reference to Trump's tiny hands, or I don't understand what that was supposed to be a reference to.
China, but really his point right now is that we are technically kind of in a Cold War state because we're funding the enemy of Russia. So this is specific to Russia. He's saying within a year.
Okay, there was another. There's a claim that I feel I have to address. We're in a Cold War situation because we are funding the enemy of Russia. I suppose that's true in a sense. I guess I can get on board with that to some degree. But the Cold War is not, on this side of the table. The Cold War is being pushed, if anything, by Russia because they keep coming in and doing crazy shit for no reason.
Tiny arms of
China.
Well,
it's going to force them into the arms of China, but really his point right now is that we are technically kind of in a Cold War state because we're funding the enemy of Russia. So this is specific to Russia. He's saying within a year, we're going to be drawn into a hot war with Russia.
Within a year, we're going to be drawn into a hot war with Russia, i.e. boots on the ground. American boots on the ground in Russia is what he's saying. Hot war.
Right here in the clip.
So they can't lose. They will do anything to win. So how do they do that?
By the way, I'm missing a light route. That's what you're seeing me do right now. I'm looking for the light. Oh, here it is, right here. Found it. Yeah, I was missing a light route, but now I found that puppy, so let's go grab that thing.
They're not going to do COVID again. I know everyone on the right's afraid they're going to do COVID and mask mandate. They're not going to do that. They can't do that.
Who is they? You notice what he's doing here? Listen to Tucker Carlson again, one more time. Who is they in this sentence? Usually when I'm having a conversation with somebody and we're talking about another person or a group or an entity or whatever, that person or group or entity has already been established before I use the word they. When it hasn't been established the way that we're hearing right now, Tucker Carlson did not establish who they is. It's called weasel words. You are referring to some ambiguous, amorphous authority figure that's out there trying to do some evil to whoever or whatever. Listen to what he does here. Weasel words.
They can't lose. They will do anything to win. So how do they do that? They're not going to do COVID again. I know everyone on the right's afraid they're going to do COVID and mask mandate. They're not going to do that. They can't do that. If they've already been exposed, that won't work. There's going to be...
Who's been exposed?
No. What are they going to do? They're going to go to war with Russia is what they're going to do. There will be a hot war between the United States and Russia in the next year.
That is an insane conspiracy theory. Alex Jones level conspiracy theory, for real, is what that is. But you know what? Here's the problem with being on the right at the moment in the United States. You have to be as outrageous as humanly possible to stay relevant. That's what we're watching happen right now. We are watching Tucker Carlson and everybody else act like complete nutterbutters and say absolutely outrageous stuff so that people pay attention to them, so that they stay relevant. That's why they're doing this. And there is another light route missing. That sucks. When I get all of the light routes, it gives me a little medallion thing, and I cannot find that other damn light route. I don't know where it is. Maybe I'll come back and look for it later. Anyway, keep listening here.
And
really?
Yes, of course. They want it anyway. I don't think we'll win it, but that's
Wrong.
Separate.
I don't think we'll win it. I don't think that the United States will win a war with Russia. What? If this war that Russia entered into with Ukraine has proven absolutely anything, it's that A, corruption has completely hollowed out the Russian military, like completely. And B, Russia has very few allies on its side anymore. I mean, I'm talking full-blown allies. Yes, they have, you know, people who kind of work with them a little bit or whatever. Like China's a little hesitant about saying anything bad about Russia. China's been trying to play it cool, play both sides a little bit and helping them a little bit. And, you know, they've been sending them supplies, I believe, but it's been under the table. I'm talking people who are willing to send their troops into harm's way to help Russia fight Ukraine, like Chechnya, for example, or I think Iran, maybe, people like, you know, countries like that. Those types of countries have been working directly with Russia. Oh, North Korea is another one that's been sending them, like, supplies directly. They don't have many, like, full-blown friends that are willing to, like, risk their status on an international level to help Russia. And they don't have many, and they don't have much money, certainly not enough, and their military is hollowed out with corruption. That's Russia's real issue. They can't take Ukraine, okay? Ukraine is a significant... Isn't Ukraine smaller than Russia? How do people expect Russia to take the United States, the largest military in the world? That is an absurd thing to say. They're not going to win. What?
They're not going to do that. They can't do that. If they've already been exposed, that won't work. There's going to be no. What are they going to do? They're going to go to war with Russia. That's what they're going to do. There will be a hot war between the United States and Russia in the next year. And
really?
Yes, of course. They want it anyway. I don't think we'll win it.
I don't know who they is. I don't think we'll win it is that's the most absurd statement out of anything that he's said so far, honestly, in my opinion.
But that's a separate analysis. But I think it's a political matter. They need to declare war footing in order to assume war powers in order to win. I believe.
Okay, so the reason that Tucker is saying this in the first place, you may be aware of this, you may not. I don't know. Some people probably aren't. But in dictatorships, when a dictator wants to maintain power, he starts a war. He goes to war with somebody. That is a sure way to guarantee that his support goes up. Look at what happened to George Bush in 2001 when, the U.S. was attacked by Al-Qaeda. His rating as a president went up, like skyrocketed, 81% or something, approval rating. That is an insane approval rating, okay? And then, right before the 2004 elections or whatever, he goes to war with Iraq. Again, boosting his support. That's what tends to happen. A sense of deep nationalism when a country goes to war with, another group of people or with another country or whatever. Deep sense of nationalism, grows. That happens in America. That happens everywhere. And that is why you see dictators using it as a pretext to maintain power. Because that sense of nationalism grows when the war starts. So what's his name? What Tucker Carlson here is telling us is that Biden is going to use a dictator's tactic of inspiring extreme nationalism by starting a hot war with a country that he deems to be completely innocent in all of this, in an effort to raise his approval ratings and prevent anybody from, winning an election, and grant himself war powers, which in the United States and other places, are much more robust than regular powers, than simply, being a president or whatever. That's the conspiracy theory that he's laying on us right now. God, this is so multi-layered. It's crazy. First, the U.S. is going to start a war with Putin intentionally as a dictator's tactic to maintain power. Second, we're going to lose that war. I mean, what the hell is going on in this dude's head? Seriously, this is nuts. I can't think of a crazier conspiracy theory. And that's probably why he's saying it, because it's so deeply outrageous. He wants it to be insane because it draws attention to him.
Believe that. And I think the evidence suggests that's true.
What do you think is wrong there, Gerald?
I think we win.
Okay. Oh, we win. See, he believes in America more than Tucker does. Tucker, I believe. Okay, let me lay this one out for you real quick, and then we'll continue with Steven Crowder and all these other nutterbutters.
War footing in order to assume war powers in order to win. I believe that. And I think the evidence suggests that's true.
What do you think?
Okay. So, wait, what was
think
it?
is wrong there, Gerald?
I think.
Okay. Here's the thing about every country in the world. Every major world power, every developed country has spies in every other developed country. Okay? China has spies in America. America has spies in Russia. Russia has spies in China. This is just how it works. Okay, everyone's spying on everyone else. Everyone's trying to get as much intelligence on everyone else as humanly possible, because you never know who you're going to have to fight with, or which intelligence is going to be useful at what time or whatever. That's just how the world works, right? And Russia, particularly, has taken the tact in recent years of putting people on their payroll in various countries to just say positive things about them. You know, that's all they got to do. They don't got to, they don't have to betray their country. They don't have to, none of that. All they got to do is say positive things about them. That's simple, right? And I believe to the bottom of my heart that some of the people that have been paid to do that are Marjorie Taylor Greene, absolutely Tucker Carlson. I think the relationship with Russia and Tucker Carlson is even deeper than just that. And a few others, you know. I think Donald Trump is most definitely, well, maybe he's not being paid by Russia. Maybe he just likes Putin and wants him to like him back. So he'll do whatever it takes to speak highly of him. That's possible. But the point here is I truly, deeply, to the bottom of my heart, believe that Tucker Carlson is a Russian agent, effectively. He's getting paid to say positive things about Russia. You can't convince me otherwise. I've heard just too much positive stuff from Tucker to believe otherwise. Like the claim that Russia would win in a war against the United States. What? Just absurd thing to say on every level, and I don't even know what to do with it.
We'd win. I think
there's no real winning a war like that today, though. I think is what he means.
I think
these are unwinnable wars.
Well, but he didn't say that. So
no, he said that Russia would win.
He didn't say like nobody wins.
Oops, sorry.
He said, and we won't win. You know?
Yeah, I mean the Russian military is a joke now.
It is a joke.
Yes, it is absolutely.
They have a lot of nukes. We have them. I think they have slightly more. We have slightly more. I can't remember. We're the top two, obviously, in the world, and we have lots and lots and lots and lots of nukes.
Yes,
I get that. I don't think that we go to a nuclear war, but his point is that if the Biden administration has no other options and they get us into a war and declare, and he said, you know, kind of the War Powers Act and making sure that the party in power stays in power in that situation.
You see, here's what's interesting about that. Donald Trump actually planned to go to war with Iran to stay in power. That was his plan. Explicitly, he even had the military draw up that plan to go to war with Iran for him. Seriously, I'm not joking. And that's one of the documents that he took home with him, was the Iran war plans. And Mark Milley was one of his Joint Chiefs of Staff, and he was basically the sole reason why we didn't end up going to war with Iran, from my understanding. Mark Milley, you know, we say like Mike Pence, begrudgingly Mike Pence saved democracy by not doing what Trump wanted him to do on January 6th or whatever. Mark Milley saved democracy in more ways than we even realize, honestly, in my opinion. He was basically Donald Trump's liaison between the presidency and the military. Mark Milley was the person that communicated the president's orders for the military from the presidency to the military itself. That was Milley's job. And Mark Milley basically prevented Trump from going to war with Iran to some degree. I don't think he disobeyed orders, but he told Trump that this is just not going to happen, and that, you know, he's not going to like take this sitting down, and this is going to be the biggest mistake Trump's ever made and things like that. That's my understanding, but I don't know. That whole era is kind of shrouded in like mystery, because we just don't know. We haven't received any information from the inside, or very limited information about it. Anyway, insane, man. All right, let's keep listening.
So there is no election.
Yeah.
If they can't get Donald Trump one of these ways, this is a way for them to stay in power. And I think this is a little out there for me. I don't necessarily agree that that's going to happen.
I love it. I love it. So Steven Crowder and Gerald, this guy's name is Gerald, they have burned, well, Steven Crowder has burned every bridge that he had with conservative media, conservative right-wing, news, quote-unquote, news networks, or what they would call news networks. When they got in the fight with the Daily Wire, they burned every bridge that they had, really. And I find it fascinating that they seem to be disagreeing with Tucker now, too. Wow. Okay.
I don't think it's out there to make the statement that administrations understand that a perpetual state of war is often good.
But to stay in power, that's a different thing. I don't think. I mean, I don't know.
In other words, it's a very clear. And you guys can comment. I'll be interested to hear the discussion or read the discussion in the comment section. Sometimes I have it read to me in one of those AI voices.
Dude, the comment section on Steven Crowder's Rumble page, not Facebook, but I'm sorry, not YouTube, but Rumble page is psychotic. Let's take a look. Let's see what we got going on here. Hold on. Let's see. Hold up. Let me just switch screens so you guys can see a little bit more clearly, and I'm out of the way. Here we are. China is assho. China is assho. Okay, thank you. Splayed Boko. I hate the red state versus blue state argument. Wait, sort by likes? Okay. Because it's really big blue cities versus the rest of the red county. The only reason some states like California are blue is because they have too many big Democrat hellhole cities. What? Okay. This is the argument that land should count, apparently. Yeah, there are like 1,500 people in all of Minnesota, and there are 1.2 million in Manhattan. But you know what? Minnesota deserves, those 1,500 people deserve the same number of senators as the 1.2 million in Manhattan, okay? That's what they're arguing right now. Seriously, insane. I'm shocked you think the Russian military is a joke. Oh, my God. This is ridiculous. Yeah, it is a joke. Are you serious? This isn't true. We haven't fought a near-peer opponent since World War II. We almost lost that. It won't be just Russia either. It will be China and Iran, as well as a bunch of little countries sending terrorists into our borders to mess us up. I'm trying to censor this. While we try to fight on foreign soil, war with Russia is a very bad idea. Do we really win? I'm sorry. Do we really win? No. They reinstate the draft and our country descends into a lot of pain. Yeah, this is an absurd thing to say. If you know what? Counting nukes out, nukes are not included in the equation. Let's just say this is a hot war with boots on the ground. It would not happen in America. The battle would not happen here. It would happen there. We are surrounded by allies and water. It's not happening. They are not getting into America. And also, the Russian military is a joke. It's been hollowed out by corruption. You know, they order 100 tanks to be made, and a guy writes down that 100 tanks are constructed and delivered when only 90 were constructed and delivered, and he pockets the additional 10%. And that's happened all the way up the Russian military. We found that out when they went to war with Ukraine and had to start buying tanks, like World War II era tanks left over from that era, or Korean War tanks from North Korea, really. The Russian military is as hollowed out as it gets by corruption. Now the fly on Pence makes sense. Okay, well, I don't know what that means. Maybe I'm missing context here. You say Russia's military is a joke, but I guarantee it's not filled with T-slur and gays now like ours is. Really? You don't think that there are gay people in Russia just as many as there are anywhere else? Or trans people? Okay. We promote more pride in literally everything but our country. Look, I have no problem with you having pride in your country. That's fine. That's good. You need a sense of national pride in a country. You know what happens when you don't have a national sense of pride? You have no reason to fight for the country. You have no interest in what happens outside of your little local area, just your family. You can see examples of it in documentaries in the Afghanistan war. Afghanistan had no sense of national pride or cohesion or anything. And it fell apart like nearly instantly when we left. Because there was just no, they didn't care. Which is really sad because Afghanistan is actually a very beautiful country. And, I'm not even going to get into Afghanistan. It's just sad. It's a sad thing to see. So national pride's important. I want people to be proud of their country. I want people to be proud of America. And I am proud of America in a lot of ways. We've made a lot of big steps forward in this country. 75 years ago or 100 years ago, people were drinking from blacks and whites only water fountains. And now we're not. That's a big deal. But but they're not talking about patriotism. They frame it like that. I am a patriot. The people in the comment section, Steven Crowder and Trump and these other conservative extremists, they're not patriots, they're nationalists. The difference is patriotism is a love for your country and a desire for it to succeed. Nationalism is a desire for your country to succeed and others to fail at any cost. You want everybody else to fail. I want everybody to succeed, including America. So anyways, I am proud of my country, and I am also proud of my gay guys, gals, and non-binary pals who come out and make it that much easier for the next person to come out in the family or in the community or whatever. I can be proud of a lot of things. Doesn't have to be just one. Anyway, this country has almost zero discipline anymore. What does that mean? How are you going to fight your heart? Oops, sorry guys, gotta fix that. My mistake. How are you going to fight your hardest for a country you've been trained to hate? Okay, does he think the military is undisciplined and hates the country? And have no pride or allegiance to it, apparently? I promise you, Russia and its people do have that sort of pride and discipline. Well, we found the Russian troll. Or just the guy that's been, co-opted by Russian trolls. I'm a vet myself, so I don't want to hear any BS about not supporting the troops. Wow, that's insane. That is insane. Oh my God, dude, these comments are wild. I'm sorry, Gerald, but you're wrong about winning against Russia. As a proud Marine combat wife, and she likes to be addressed by her husband's title, I bet, right? For the last 20 years, I will tell you that the wokeness of our military has massively blankified our forces. I can't say that word on here. We have no equipment. That's just a complete blatant lie. Yes, we do. What are you talking about? We have no equipment. We have no leadership. Yes, we do. And but she would know, right? Of course, because she's a Marine's wife. And as a Marine's wife, she's all up in there and knows everything that's going on. Okay, definitely. And after the loss of the last war, we have no moral! ! No moral! Our military is extremely weak, and if you think Russia's military is a joke, you're sadly mistaken. They train to be warriors, or our military worries about giving... Okay, slur. About giving slur. Thank you, J.L. Kreitz. I'm so glad that I have a Marine's wife to give us insight on this. Jesus, dude, this is insane. This is absolutely unglued from reality. How many views does this have anyways? This has, it has 1.4 million followers, supposedly. Well, that's weird. Oh, okay. I can show more comments. I didn't realize. I thought that was like all of them. Oh, just out of just out of curiosity, let's see here. Got a new job, been watching for years, finally able to tune in live. Unreal, so happy to be here. All in exclamation marks. Okay. Or I'm sorry, all in caps. Thank you so much, Ioween. Is that what or Luween? I'm not sure what that name is. That's bizarre, dude. Gerald is a moron, and so is Steven. To say Russian military is a joke. What a bunch of idiots. Wow. I would wonder if Russia sent a troll farm here to, like, fill the comment section if it weren't for the fact that they've filled so many comment sections that Republican extremists are starting to believe it already. Did anyone see the Tucker interview with the Hungarian prime minister? That was awesome. The PM said Trump is the only one that can stop the war in Ukraine and Russia. Jesus Christ on a cracker, dude. That is insane. That is straight up. Get help, people. Okay? For real. Get help. Anyway, let's keep listening to this nutter buttery.
But it is interesting to think, okay, there's a path. There's a straight path with the lockdowns, with the mandates, how that affects the election. We know that that happened, right? Yes. And I don't think that...
No. Wait a minute. Is he saying that... Wait a minute. So, the pandemic, if Steven Crowder is forgetting, took place originally, it started under Trump's watch, right? It was right at the end of 2019, beginning of 2020 when it started spreading around. And people started taking it seriously in the U.S. That's why it's called COVID-19. Trump was still in power for a year after that. Longer than a year, as a matter of fact. Well, about a year. He was in power for a year. The lockdowns happened under Trump. Okay? The vaccine, wasn't it released under Donald Trump? It was, right? The vaccine, any mandates or whatever that may have happened, which, by the way, there were no mandates, but any of that stuff that happened would have happened under Donald Trump. What the hell are you talking about? And what are they laughing at? What was funny that he just said? I don't understand. They're like a constant laugh track in the background.
It is interesting to think, okay, there's a path. There's a straight path with the lockdowns, with the mandates, how that affects the election. We know that happened, right?
Yes.
No, I don't know what he's talking about. For the record, there was never a vaccine mandate in the United States ever, anywhere. Nobody was ever mandated to get a vaccine at any point. And you didn't have to lose your job either. You could keep your job if you didn't want to get vaccinated. All you had to do was get a test once a week to show that you don't have COVID. And if you do have COVID, just stay home. You could be exempted from that testing mandate by getting vaccinated. A lot of people wanted to go out to eat in restaurants. Well, that's fine. You just have to wear a mask when you're walking in. And when they finally did mandate vaccines, guess what? You can either order the food and carry out or sit in the outside area. You were never barred from going somewhere because you weren't vaccinated or getting food or, whatever. This is like a fictional reality, like an alternate reality that these people live in. It's bizarre.
And I don't think that they will accomplish it. I hope not. I know there are plenty of people who are willing to be, useful pawns, and we'll get into the abuse of the elderly in a little bit as well.
Abuse of the elderly. Okay. By the by, if you're not sure what I'm doing here, I'm dropping a weapon at in front of an Octorock. The Octorock repairs it. It's about to break. It's blinking red. It repairs it and it gives it a modifier, right? So I want to get a really, really powerful sword. I'm trying to get a modifier of like +9 attack up or something like that. So I keep saving and reloading, trying to get that modifier. And there it is, 88. That's what I was looking for. Now I can go kill this guy. All right, let's keep listening.
But I don't see the direct path, and it doesn't mean that it couldn't happen with a war with Russia. The direct path.
Yeah, it makes no sense at all. I am so glad that Steven Crowder is like not seeing the logic here because there is none.
Into affecting the election. In other words, if you're saying, hey, we believe that maybe it'll increase his popularity because you'll be able to sort of project this pseudo-patriotism and vilify, this foreign enemy.
That only really works with Republicans because Republicans have kind of created this pseudo-monopoly on quote-unquote patriotism when in reality, people on the left are just as patriotic as anybody else. Like, I have just as much patriotism as anybody. It's just the right is, like, nationalistic. They want everyone else to fail at the, and they want the U.S. to be on the winning side of that equation. It's just kind of evil and disgusting. So, anyway.
Yeah, but there's a very clear rule set with COVID mandates on how you win an election by abusing that.
Okay, that was never abused. That never even existed. You live in an alternate reality, okay?
Absentee ballots and things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So Tucker's point is that since it's already...
Absentee ballot? Oh, my God. This is now... We're getting into, election conspiracy theories now. Absentee ballots.
happened, it probably won't happen again because we're more aware of that kind of thing.
But don't you think it's way easier? Both are hard, but it would seem to be way easier to instill mandates or lockdowns than starting a hot war with a nuclear power like Russia.
I would say
nuclear? I've never heard that word before. That's a first, except from George Bush. He used to say it a lot. Nuclear. Yeah, it would obviously, like, if any of this stuff was true, which it's not, it's like a conservative fantasy land that these people seem to live in, where they're like the victim of persecution 24/7. But that's neither here nor there. If hypothetically, COVID lockdowns that didn't happen and vaccine mandates that also didn't happen, were on the table alongside a hot war with Russia, it would very obviously be COVID lockdowns that people would go for rather than, a hot war with Russia. Like, this is just insane.
I think they're
I don't even know how we'd start that.
I think they're both easy to do. I think it's a tougher sell as far as a straight path to winning an election.
Right,
That's my thought.
But you would need...
Dude, they are... It's like they're building this bizarre fantasy land off of nothing, out of complete delusion. It's like they're discussing something that they fancy to be like some intellectual topic when there's no intellectualism to be found here. It's all delusion all the way down. This is nuts. Let me step back 10 seconds and listen to the whole conversation here.
With a nuclear power like Russia.
I think they're
I don't
both,
even know how we'd start that.
I think they're both easy to do. I think it's a tougher sell as far as a straight path to winning an election.
Right,
That's my thought.
But you would need somehow for, I think, Russia to invade a NATO power like Poland.
You don't.
No.
All you need is for it to appear as though Russia invaded a nuclear power, or I'm sorry, a NATO power like Poland. That's it. All you need is somebody to do something that you can make. Hey, they did this,
and that's pretty easy. I mean, those Polacks are surly. You just say, hey, I think I see some Russians over there. What?
What the heck?
No Russians over here. Hey, and they're like, there we go. Now let's pop off some nukes.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Okay, well, I think if that was going to happen, it would have already happened like a long time ago. Nobody wants a hot war with anybody, okay, except Russia, because they seem to be in an imperialistic phase right now. They want to take more land desperately. Sadly, I wish it wasn't like that, but they're in an imperialistic stage. I mean, the United States was acting extremely imperialistic for a while, too. Not even that long ago. In fact, I'm not even convinced that the U.S. is out of their imperialistic phase at this immediate moment. Not long ago, you could go up to any random citizen of the world, Europeans or Australia, whatever, and ask them who is the biggest threat to world peace. I'm talking like Western countries. You could ask anybody on the street, and the polls showed they consistently believed America was the biggest threat to world peace. Up until this poll that I saw was from 2012, maybe. I don't know if it's still like that. Probably not. But that was because there was a lot of imperialism. There were a lot of drone strikes. There's a lot of really ugly stuff happening at the hands of U.S. presidents. And honestly, we complain about what Putin has done and the war crimes he's committed and everything. The United States has done even worse in recent years. And not excusing what Russia did at all. I'm just saying, you know, the U.S. has done some pretty ugly stuff. But I think they're kind of beyond their imperialism at this moment. Well, you know, time will tell.
See, I don't know.
But you've been hearing this, by the way, for a very long time, the threat of the Russia-China alliance, and we've talked about that as well. So this is not new, but here's a refresher.
U.S. officials have been closely monitoring signs of increased cooperation between Beijing and Moscow, as you know. Would China and Russia form an alliance against the U.S.? Do you think that's a realistic
Dude, are you? Of course they would. Yes. They're probably already, like, in agreements with each other to guarantee that, like, you know, if one gets attacked, then the other attacks to defend or whatever other thing. I'm sure they already have agreements. What's bizarre to me is that this question is even being asked. I'm getting my ass kicked right now. Oh, my God. This is terrible. Okay, I need to eat a whole bunch of food. What a stupid, bizarre thing to ask.
Possibility?
I think it's not only
yes, lady with windswept hair and no wind.
You know, situation that we're seeing right now unfold.
Last February, President Xi and President Putin met in Beijing, where they signed a joint declaration promising each other a partnership without any limits.
Yeah, there's a partnership between Russia and China. They're aligned. We know, yes.
Conveniently left out the most important part of the deal, which is what the United States wins out of it. That would only be conditioned on Vladimir Putin exiting his military alliance with China.
And just to be clear, as far as an update that matters.
Okay. For the record, I don't know that there is an actual military alliance with China. That may be taking it a little bit too far. I think if if one of the two were attacked, the other would step in to defend them without a shadow of a doubt. That would absolutely happen. But the United States is not going to enter a hot war with China and or Russia. Now, China may choose to attack Taiwan, in which case the United States has openly said that they will defend Taiwan with boots on the ground. But, you know, that's a totally different thing.
The Chinese just incorporated a Russian island into their territory on a new map. Now, I don't know if that's a map-o. But
that's a power move right there.
Yeah, it's a power move.
It's like, that's ours.
And sometimes, we have our investigative journalism unit, but a lot of people don't realize we also have, we have exclusives that are given to us across the globe on a regular basis. We have an exclusive leaked phone call of Xi Jinping, Putin, which may have been what led to the current state of affairs.
Okay, I don't believe. Okay, let me just put this out there for anybody listening right now. Do not believe a single word out of Steven Crowder's mouth, ever. Check every single thing you hear. He tells you the sky is blue, double check it. Make sure he's correct here. Because for one thing, he fancies himself a comedian. He likes to pretend to be a news reporter when it's convenient for him, and then he likes to pretend to be comedian when it's convenient. So you never know which phase he pretends to be in. And when he's in his news reporter phase, he's terrible at it. There's bias all through it and lies and misrepresentations from top to bottom. So I'm serious. Don't believe a single word out of the dude's mouth. Not one, okay? But all right, let's keep listening to him talk about this supposed leaked audio. Xi Jinping doesn't, at the very least, Xi Jinping pretends not to speak any other language but Mandarin, I believe.
Hello there. You, my friend. Call me Lee. You call me President Putin. I was always wondering. You go first. No, you go, Ham. No, please.
Okay, so yeah, it's just a stupid joke.
No, please. I insist
I guess they're making them out to be dummies. Is that like the point here, that they're both kind of fools because they can't figure out who should talk first?
We have a common enemy, and you want an alliance. What? An alliance.
Yeah, this is just racist bullshit. Why is Steven Crowder like this? How is it that, like, he got as famous as he did being as big a scumbag as he is? Seriously. And I don't say scumbag in, like, a derogatory way. I mean, it is derogatory, but I'm saying it in a factual way. The dude's a scumbag. That's what he's built his brand off of. His brand is scumbaggery. That's what he wants people to view him as, a scumbag, right? Okay, this is stupid and racist, and I'm not seeing what, you know, trying to get on board here, but it's just not amusing to me at all.
That's it.
And apparently nobody else. It took them a minute to laugh.
That sounds very heated.
I'm not intimidated.
Well, that's how you lose an island, right there.
They're not very unified. They can't get along.
They're not very unified.
Don't hang up.
This has been Gerald Knows Stuff.
This has been Gerald Knows Stuff, okay.
All right, so...
What are they laughing at right now? I don't understand. I'm lost. Why are they laughing? It was just a graphic that popped up that said Gerald knows things. I want to understand what's funny.
I want to discuss the Mitch McConnell, the stroke.
Yeah.
Some people are calling it MROKE, which doesn't...
Okay, I don't know if you guys heard about this. Maybe you watch in 5 years in the future. I don't know. But Mitch McConnell found himself in a pretty rough position when he just froze in front of reporters. Like he was talking, giving a press conference, and then just blank stare into the void. And nobody knew exactly what the hell was going on with the dude. Because he would, you know, he denied it. He kept saying, "Oh, I'm fine. There's nothing going on. Nothing going on." I don't actually. Did they announce that he had a stroke recently or what? Let me just check this again. Steven Crowder says the sky is blue. You got to check it. Mitch McConnell stroke. Okay, the Capitol's attending physician, according to CNN, Brian Monahan, said in a new letter that Senate GOP leader Mitch McConnell did not suffer a stroke or seizure and is not suffering from Parkinson's disease after the 81-year-old Kentuckian was evaluated by a group of neurologists following 2 recent health scares in front of TV. Yeah, I don't know. Something's going on with Mitch McConnell. I don't know what. But if you didn't see... let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Okay, this is CNN. 45 seconds. This is the second one. I haven't seen it yet, so give this a watch. Let me just flip over to make the screen big.
What are my thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
Just frozen. Just frozen.
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026? All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute. Senator. Benny.
Yep.
So he apparently just needed like 45 seconds, and then he came back to reality. He snapped back to reality, if you will, kind of harnessing my inner Eminem.
Somebody else have a question? Please speak up.
Please speak up. You're pretending that it was a hearing thing. Okay, great. That's really sad, actually. Like, Mitch McConnell has done untold amounts of damage to the United States. And since we're talking about it, you know, let's talk about Mitch McConnell with a picture of him standing in front of a Confederate flag as the background here. Yeah. Mitch McConnell has caused untold amounts of damage to the United States and is an absolutely disgusting person politically. But I don't wish death on anybody, and it's really hard to watch when somebody is having a hard time like that. It's really sad. I feel so sad. I'm sorry. Particularly if, for nobody else, his family. You know, his kids, his brothers, sisters, I don't know, wife, grandchildren, I don't know. People in this dude's life care about him, and he's very obviously falling to pieces right now, and in a very public way. You know, people talk about Biden having, you know, mental problems or whatever. If Biden really did have some kind of dementia or Alzheimer's or something, that's the type of deal that we would see happening with Biden very publicly, and we haven't seen any of that. Like, literally none of it. And we'd see the same from Trump, too, for what it's worth. I don't believe for a second that Biden or Trump have any form of dementia, Alzheimer's, none of that. Mitch McConnell, he's got something going on here. Something is not right. I don't know what it is. Here's the, here's the other one. This is the older one that took place a month before, 2 months before, maybe? I don't know.
Finishing the NDA this week has been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
just gone. His mind is gone. He's just staring. He's tracking, though. His eyes are moving. Like, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't understand. Something is wrong. Very, very wrong.
Okay, Mitch. Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your
The guy says, this is another senator, by the way. I believe he's a doctor, the guy talking to Mitch right now. And he says, anything else you want to say to the press?
Say anything else to the press?
And Mitch says no. And he walks away. And the other senator, being a doctor, says, I'll take him back. So he took him to his office and checked him out. Talked to him for a minute, apparently. Anyways, I'm very sorry that Mitch is dealing with that. Remember, I just want to, like, this Mitch McConnell. This is the guy I'm talking about. I didn't want to confuse anybody because there are a lot of Mitch McConnells out there. So it was this one that I was referring to, this Mitch. So anyway, to my knowledge, Mitch McConnell did not have a stroke. He didn't have seizure. I don't know. According to authorities, the Capitol's attending physician, it is not the result of a stroke or a seizure, and he's not suffering from Parkinson's. There are a plethora of other things that it could be. I feel like the answer right now is just I don't know. We just don't know yet.
Doesn't really work. It doesn't roll off the...
So let's step back and listen to Steven Crowder again. Listen to him seemingly lie to us. Oh, and his little group of, his hype men in the background. We'll listen to them laugh, too, inexplicably.
I want to discuss the Mitch McConnell, the stroke.
Yeah.
Some people are calling it mroke, which doesn't really work. It doesn't roll off the tongue of Bennifer.
Why?
I don't know. Come on, guys. Hey, everyone, let's be tasteful.
Yes. I don't understand. I don't get the joke. Was there a joke to be had there, or?
There's nothing funny about any of this. Now, I will say this.
I mean, there isn't anything funny about this. See, this is why I say that Steven Crowder is a scumbag as, like, his public persona. Like, this is what he's all about, being a scumbag. He's literally laughing at somebody having a stroke. Does it get more depraved than that?
This is sad, of course, but it's something that's lost, I think, in a lot of people. It's easy to sort of make fun of Mitch McConnell or former Vice President Joe Biden. But we do have, this is the median demographic, the median age, I should say, of our political leadership. It's the only place where the median age is older than the Fox News viewership.
But it's rare.
Oh, yeah, I think it's like 70 years old is average Fox News viewership, isn't it, or something? It's crazy.
And this does matter because they're actually, I mean, it's a marvel, they're a miracle as far as defying actuary tables. But a lot of these people as well, they're being abused. You do have to ask yourself, if former Vice President Biden doesn't know where he is, well,
which doesn't happen. Biden knows exactly where he is.
Who's running the show? If you see the handlers and how they handle Mitch McConnell, I'm not nearly as mad with Mitch McConnell. I would have been in his younger days. I'm mad at the handlers popping their head in where it almost looks like a choreographed sketch. It's so embarrassing. So our politicians, our representatives.
Look, I think I don't believe it's like that at all. I mean, the fact that he's framing it this way is bizarre. What makes this dude think that it's like a bunch of handlers that are like propping this dude up and walking him around like Weekend at Bernie's? I'm sure most of the time Mitch McConnell is fine and on his game and capable of whatever. It's just every now and then the dude seems to be dealing with this serious problem that appears to be getting more serious and happening more frequently. I have no clue like where Steven Crowder is getting any of this.
They're aging out of this job, and by that I mean they already shouldn't have these jobs. And
yeah, I can agree with that. Look, I'm sorry. This is probably controversial. No politicians over the age of retirement. 65. You know what? Lower the age of retirement. 60. People should not have to work past 60. And people running the country should not remember when there were blacks only and whites only water fountains. That should not be a thing, okay? So I guess I can agree with him on that. By the by, Real Pumpkin J, a chatter, mentions it looks like a seizure. That could be a focal seizure, maybe. I've been, my cat has diabetes, had a hypoglycemic event. Oh, sorry. That could be. I've been learning a lot about this recently because my cat has diabetes and had a hypoglycemic event recently and has had focal seizures. In fact, she's had 2 focal seizures in the past, today, 2 focal seizures. Now, a focal seizure is basically, it's a seizure that is focused on a single area of the brain and will cause very specific results. So when somebody has a full seizure, their back arches and they start wriggling around like wild and they're in danger of hurting themselves and everything else. A focal seizure is where one specific part of the brain is messing up. And it produces weird results a lot of the time. Like my cat's had this focal seizure, which has resulted in, to my knowledge, it's not dangerous to her at this moment. It's resulted in her eyes being dilated, very dilated. She drools, and she walks in a circle like she's chasing her tail for about 30 seconds, about as long as Mitch McConnell, as a matter of fact. And then she kind of snaps out of it, and she's like back, snaps back to reality, as Eminem would say once again. I could see Mitch McConnell having a focal seizure. I could see that. That's a distinct possibility. I don't know for sure, but something's going on with the dude. Anyway, thank you for the message there, Real Pumpkin J. Also, Real Pumpkin J says this is proper news. Oklahoma State Department of Education announces partnership with PragerU Kids, September 5th. Florida did that before. Oh, really? Interesting. I did not know that. Well, sounds like I'm going to have to talk about that. Matter of fact, you know what? I think I downloaded that clip, or I have that clip of the Oklahoma superintendent saying that he's prepared to something or other. Ryan Walters is his name, I believe. Dude is... Oh, God, that guy has problems, Ryan Walters. I've covered him a few times if you're curious about him. It's pretty interesting stuff, and he's psychotic. Anyway, yeah, that's not good news. PragerU Kids is simply put propaganda. There is no other, like, way to understand it. No other, like, no other explanation or description of it. It's just propaganda for children. And that is wrong. It's wrong to propagandize to children. I complain about it when Jehovah's Witnesses do it. I complain about it when Mormons do it. I'm going to complain about it anytime somebody is attempting to manipulate children. So, yeah, we'll probably be talking about that soon enough. Anyway, thank you, Real Pumpkin J, for the super chat there. Dr. GG Live. Hey, Owen, do you think the Trump cult will fizzle out after his death, or do you believe Trump Jr. could continue it, or will they believe he'll be reborn like Jesus? Well, that's complicated because part of their theology is that, all right, so Jesus was believed to be the Messiah, the Son of Man from the Old Testament. And to be the Son of Man, Jesus needed to have taken political control of Israel and then sparked Armageddon into being. Except he died before that happened. And his followers are like, what? He can't die. That makes no sense at all. So they said, he'll be back. He'll be back. Just wait and see. Jesus will be back, and then he'll take political control. Well, the Trump cultists, I mean the people who view it as a religion, believe that Trump is Jesus, not Jesus reborn, but he's the Son of Man. So they believe that Trump is going to fulfill the expectations that were laid upon Jesus that he didn't get to fulfill. And the reason that they believe that about Donald Trump is because they think that the U.S. is new Israel, that George Washington was Jewish, and he entered into a new covenant with God on America's behalf, and all this other crazy, unhinged from reality stuff. So anyway, that's why they believe that Donald Trump is, the Messiah, if you will, or whatever you want to call it. That's why they believe that. Will it fizzle out? Yes, I think it will. There will be a subset of people that will never give up on it. You know that there's a group, Heaven's Gate, all the way back from the 70s to the 90s, and I think March 26th, 1996, I believe, they all checked out together. Don't quote me on that date, but it's somewhere in that vicinity. They checked out together, and that was it. The leader died, and everyone else died, all of the other people all together with cyanide. But would you be surprised to find that there are still, to this day, right now, active believers in this group that all checked out together? Every cult throughout history, pretty much, retains believers basically forever. There will be some set of the population that believes that Donald Trump is the Messiah, and that he's supposed to come back or whatever other thing, just like Jesus. There will be a group of believers like that. I don't think it'll be particularly big, because once he dies, that's going to make absolutely no sense for their theology. Because, I mean, once Trump dies. Because just like Jesus, he was supposed to spark Armageddon, and he didn't. Don Jr. will definitely take over the cult following that exists, that doesn't necessarily have religious like attachments to it. Hell, maybe Don Jr. will take over the religious aspect too. Who knows? My cat's having a seizure again. God, I feel so bad for her. Miki. 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 Oh, she snapped out of it. Miki. Hey, baby. Miki. Hey. Her pupils are dilated. She was drooling. She's looking around now. She seems okay at this immediate moment, but she had another seizure. I feel so bad for her. Feel so bad for her, man. I don't know what to do to help her. I'm so worried about her. Anyway. Stupid Shinji, thank you for the sticker. Dave Seekings, thank you for the sticker. I appreciate that, guys. I'll tell you what, I'm going to get off of here and, work on all of this stuff. Again, thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me. It's been fun. If you want to see more of this, come to my Owen Unfiltered YouTube channel. I just renamed it. Wednesday and Thursday mornings, 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Come hang out with me there, okay? All right. Well, have a good one, everybody. Talk to you next time.